Welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about Steve Greer, legend from the University of Georgia, is our host, Mr. Football himself, Vincent Turner. How's it going, man?
Hey man, how you doing this morning? And I like to say, go dogs.
Yes, absolutely. I'm doing really great. It's a beautiful Monday morning. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia, the heart of Georgia football. Over at Athens, they do huge things, and we love Georgia Bulldog football here, of course. So, given the history of the Bulldogs, given that they're in an incredible place right now in their current history, tell us more about Steve Greer, his history at the University of Georgia, and what do we have to look forward to about this legend?
Well, Steve Greer played at the University of Georgia from 1967 to 1969. And I'm going to say this, he got the greatest honor from the former head coach and the late Vince Dooley. Vince Dooley said Steve Greer, pound for pound, was the best football player he ever coached. Now, a lot of people don't believe this, but Steve Greer played nose guard at the University of Georgia at 205 pounds, standing 6 foot. And he came in 1965 into one of the greatest recruiting classes ever at the University of Georgia. Jake Scott, we know about him, played in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins Super Bowl champion. Bill Stanfield, the Miami Dolphins Super Bowl champion. Kent Lawrence, who was in that recruiting class, was a halfback, ended up becoming a judge in Athens, Georgia. Then Happy Dix, who played linebacker, ended up becoming a doctor. Then Billy Payne, I don't have to say no more. He brought to the Olympics to Atlanta in 1996. And then Sonny Perdue, who was in that recruiting class, but he was a walk-on, eventually became governor of the state of Georgia. But Mr. Steve Greer, as I just mentioned, played nose guard at 6 feet, 205 pounds, and his skill set was at another level. Instincts, A+. Feel the pressure, A+. The explosiveness and leverage, A+. Think about that. He's playing on the line of scrimmage at 6'1", 205 pounds. The sudden movement, A+. Tackling. Steve Greer, during his years at Georgia, was one of the hardest hitters on the football team. The aggressiveness is playing nose tackle, A+. And then most of all, pressing the pocket, A+. Then Mr. Greer played on that 1968 Georgia team. They won the Southeastern Conference Championship that year and went to the Sugar Bowl and lost to the University of Arkansas 16-2. But Steve Greer's greatest moment probably happened in 1969, his last year at Georgia. They was playing Ole Miss. You know who was at quarterback for Ole Miss? It was Archie Manning. Archie Manning was having his way in the first half against Georgia, just running around the field, breaking the containment in the pocket. But there was a play when Archie went out, scrambled, came back into the pocket, and Mr. Steve Greer unloaded on him and knocked Archie Manning out of the game. After the game, Ole Miss won that game 25-17 eventually. People asked Archie Manning, man, what happened after that hit? And Archie Manning, not after the game, but later years in Archie Manning's career, said in his college career, Steve Greer, the nose tackle from the University of Georgia, that was the hardest I ever been hit in a football game. And Archie Manning said his teeth hurted for 3 weeks. That's what type of football player Steve Greer was. My final words about Steve Greer today here on the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. You hurt together and you bleed together. That was Steve Greer's motto at the University of Georgia when he played. And as I just mentioned, he came to the University of Georgia and won the greatest recruiting classes in 1965. He went away as an SEC champion in 1968. He was an All-American nose guard in 1969 and captain of the 1969 team. Steve Greer, one of the greatest that ever played at the University of Georgia. Just ask his head coach, Vince Dooley. As I'm going to repeat it one more time. Vince Dooley said, Steve Greer, pound for pound, is the greatest football player I ever coached at the University of Georgia. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football.